All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call our meeting to order. Before we start, the score is now 20-7, and it's not Carolina. So,
17.
bad news.
17.
Oh, excuse me, 17-7? Excuse me, 17-7. How's North Charleston math? All right, if you please rise, we're going to have the invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the blessings. We thank you for letting us live in a nation where we have freedoms. Thank you for looking over us, guiding us, and delivering us. Be with us as we go through this meeting so that we do the best for the people of the city of North Charleston. In precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir. Item 1 is a request to approve the minutes from the August 14th, 2014 City Council meeting.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Astle?
Aye.
Ms. Jerome?
Aye.
Mr. Jamison? Aye. Mr. Brinson?
Aye.
Mr. King? Aye. Mr. Stigler? Aye. Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Summy.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Item 2 is the final reading of an ordinance amending Section 4-4 of the zoning ordinances of the City of North Charleston so as to provide zoning for newly recognized, newly created lands within the city.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, the clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Astle?
Aye.
Ms. Jerome?
Aye.
Mr. Jamison?
Aye.
Mr. Brinson? Mr. King? Mr. Stigler?
Aye.
Mr. Brown? Mayor Summy.
Aye. On public safety, I think we can actually combine 3 through 9, and number 10 has been pulled.
Shall I go?
Yes, ma'am.
Item 3 is the final reading, rezoning a portion of the property addressed as 7051 and 7055 Cross County Road from M1 Light Industrial to R2 Multifamily Residential, and amending the comprehensive plan future land use map for the same portion of the parcel from light industrial to multifamily residential. Item 4 is the final reading of an ordinance rezoning the properties addressed as 5400, 5500, 5502, 5550 Dorchester Road, 5025 Fargo Street, 5300, 5311, and 5333 International Boulevard, and 5552 Trailwood Drive, TMS numbers shown, from R2 Multifamily Residential, R3 Mobile Home Residential, B1 Limited Business, B2 General Business, and M1 Light Industrial to PD Plan Development to be known as Aerospace Campus PD, and amending the comprehensive plan future land use map for the same parcels from light industrial, multifamily residential, mobile home manufactured housing, office professional, and major business retail to light industrial. 5 is the final reading of an ordinance zoning a portion of the property addressed as 3651 West Montague Avenue from unzoned former right-of-way to M1 Light Industrial and CRD, and amending the comprehensive plan future land use map for the same portion to mixed-use centers. Yes. Item 6 is the final reading of an ordinance zoning portions of the properties addressed as 2700, 2730, 2750, Spiceegger Drive, TMS number shown, from unzoned former rights-of-way to B2 General Business, and amending the comprehensive plan future land use map for the same portions of the parcels to mixed-use centers. 7 is the final reading of an ordinance zoning the abandoned rights-of-way formerly known as Ivory Avenue and a portion of Orvid Street from unzoned former rights-of-way to R1 single-family residential and amending the comprehensive plan future land use map for the same parcels from abandoned rights-of-way to institutional government. 8 is the final reading of an ordinance zoning a portion of the property addressed as 2040 and 2101 Suwannee Road from unzoned former right-of-way to M2 heavy industrial and amending the comprehensive plan future land use map for the same portion of the parcel to conservation. Number 9 is the final reading of an ordinance rezoning the property addressed as 3339 Craft Avenue, TMS number shown from R2 multifamily residential to B1 limited business and amending the comprehensive plan future land use map for the same parcel from multifamily residential to neighborhood commercial.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. Brinson, you have a thing Mr. Olds asked you to read.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Olds is unable to be with us tonight. I have watched with great interest and admiration how hard he's been working on this over the last couple of weeks. As you know, he has drafted a statement, and with your permission, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to quickly read it into the record. I'm in full support of the aerospace campus. I believe Boeing has been considerate of factors concerning neighboring areas. I have enjoyed working out the finite details with the Boeing staff and all others involved in the process, and most importantly, with total consideration at the forefront for my constituents and neighboring communities. I want to thank District 5, my colleagues on council, city staff, Boeing, and all others involved for the concerted efforts to put forth a quality project and in fair and full consideration to all. Boeing generating top-paying jobs, the many contributions past and present to our city and the neighboring communities cannot be matched. I want to extend my deepest gratitude for their quality project, being a quality employer, a neighbor, and their donations to our city. I really appreciate the spirit of his message, Mr. Mayor, and he mentions a donation to our city. I think you have some news on the fact that Boeing has actually, since our public hearing started, increased their donations to our
They
city.
actually have come and said they wanted to show good faith, and they've notified the administration and Mr. Olds that they're going to donate $50,000 toward the sidewalks project in the neighborhood.
And that's in addition to what they've previously
Over
pledged to commit.
$2.3 million that they've pledged to other agencies so far this year. So it helps us move forward on moving forward with the sidewalks.
Well, the Boeing folks are here. We just look them right in the eyes and say, thank you.
All right, do I hear a motion? We already had a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Astle?
Aye.
Ms. Jerome?
Aye.
Mr. Jamison?
Aye.
Mr. Brinson?
Aye.
Mr. King? Aye. Mr. Stigler?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Summy?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
We'll take 11 and 12 together.
Eleven is the first reading of an ordinance amending the provisions of section 9-67.
Yes, sir.
Don't think we did 10, right?
10 was pulled.
Okay.
Sorry.
First reading amending the provisions of section 9-67 of the Municipal Code of the City of North Charleston so as to define nuisances posed by certain externally visible items associated with construction activity. Number 12 also, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Number 12 is a first reading of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute documents granting to SCE&G rights-of-way across TMS number 400-0000, lots 75 and 78, for the purposes of installing transmission lines to serve the Clemson Wind Turbine Test Facility and assigned to South Carolina Public's Railways compensation associated therewith.
Move for approval.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, the clerk please call the roll.
Mr. Estel?
Aye.
Ms. Jerome?
Aye.
Mr. Jamison?
Aye.
Mr. Brinson?
Aye.
Mr. King? Mr. Stigler? Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Summy?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
score 17-14,
Yes, sir.
7 play.
Yes, Carolina scored.
Yay.
I got it, record. All right. 13.
Item 13 is a resolution in public hearing in support of the issuance by the South Carolina Jobs Economic Development Authority of its Economic Development Revenue Bonds, Palmetto Scholars Academy Project, pursuant to the provisions of Title I, Chapter 43 of the Code of Laws of South Carolina, 1976, as amended in the aggregate principal amount of not exceeding $8,500,000.
Your motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. This is an advertised public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this issue, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and give us your remarks. Anyone wishing to speak on this issue? Hearing none. Any questions of council? Please call the roll.
Mr. Astle?
Aye.
Ms. Jerome?
Aye.
Mr. Jamison?
Aye.
Mr. Brinson?
Aye.
Mr. King? Mr. Stigler?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Summy?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Any thoughts on grouping?
Mr. Mayor, can we take item 14 through 21 title only?
Absolutely. All resolutions.
14 through 21?
Yes.
14 is a resolution authorizing the city to accept the 2014 Port Security Grant from FEMA in the amount of $331,700 and the match of $82,925 to come from the fiscal year 2015 contingency account. 15 is a resolution authorizing the city to accept the Justice Assistance Grant from the United States Department of Justice in the amount of $60,446 to provide law enforcement equipment to the City of North Charleston's Police Department. Item 16 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement between the United States Department of Justice Drug Enforcement Administration and the North Charleston Police Department. 17 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement between the City of North Charleston and the Ninth Circuit Solicitor's Office for Crime Victims Assistance. 18 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement between the Charleston County School District and the City of North Charleston for the School Resource Officer Program 2014-2015 school year. 19 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute appropriate documents with the South Carolina Department of Transportation for the acceptance of the right-of-way of Constellation Drive into the city system. 20 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to accept a proposal from Trans Systems for a sanitation route study. And 21 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to accept a proposal from Trans Systems for Patriot Boulevard improvements.
Move for approval?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, the clerk please call the roll.
Mr. Astle?
Aye.
Ms. Jerome?
Aye.
Mr. Jamison?
Aye.
Mr. Brinson? Mr. King? Mr. Stigler? Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Summy?
Aye.
Motion
Would
carries
ask that
unanimously.
we take 22 through 25 and 28 together.
22 is a request to approve and authorize the purchase of police package Chevrolet Tahoes from a local vendor. 23 is a request to approve proposal award, design and construction of a restroom facility at the Westcott Golf Course. 24 is a request to approve the bid award for renovations to the Midland Park Community Center. And 25 is the request to approve the bid award for the abatement and demolition of 4854 O'Hare Drive. And sir, you said 28?
Yes, ma'am.
A request to approve the funding request for Charleston Promise Neighborhood.
Your motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'll vote yes on all of them except 28. Put me down for a negative on 28.
Okay, sir. Ms. King also?
Negative on 28, please.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Astle?
Aye.
Ms. Jerome?
All
Aye,
but
and you
28,
got your
yes.
negative, you know, no.
Mr. Jameson?
All ayes but 28.
Mr. Brinson? Mr. King? Mr. Stigler?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Semi?
Aye.
Motion carries as called.
Okay. Items 26 and 27 together, please.
26 is a request to approve the municipal agreement between the City of North Charleston and the State Ports Authority for the design and construction of the Port Access Road. 27 is a request to approve the East Montague Festival to be held in East Montague Avenue's Old North Charleston Business District in November 2014.
Have a motion?
Move for
Second.
approval.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, the clerk please call the roll.
Mr. Astle?
Aye.
Mr. Rome?
Aye.
Mr. Jameson?
Aye.
Mr. Brinson? Mr. King? Mr. Stigler? Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Semi?
Aye.
Motion
Do we have the
carries.
document with us for signatures? See Ray on the way out and sign that municipal agreement. We do have one request to speak before council, and that is Will Silva. And we wants to speak on a housing grant funding. Please come forward, state your name and address for our record. You have 3 minutes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Will Silva. I live at 8567 Royal Palm Lane. I'm here represent the Home Dream Foundation. We are a small nonprofit organization that work with affordable housing, neighborhood revitalization, that was a hard word for me, and community development. This year, we applied for the 2014-2015 grant program, which our project was not funded by the city. My purpose on this meeting and to come over here to speak to you guys is to ask you guys to please give an opportunity for small nonprofits. We understand that the city have a relationship with the big nonprofits like Charleston CDC and Metanoia, but we, the small nonprofits, can do something for the city too. This year, the city approved the funds for 9 projects that Metanoia gonna do. And I believe that out of 9 projects that the city approved, I believe the city could approve at least 1 or 2 for small nonprofits that can do something for the city too. We are not against anything that Metanoia or Charleston CDC does. They do a great job, but we can do something. We want to change we want to do something for the city. We too love work and place and worship over here in North Charleston, so we all citizens too. The funding that we applied for the 2014 and 2015 was primarily to focus on Shakur and Cherokee subdivision. I believe anybody can drive around the Shakur subdivision today and not find at least 2 or 3 houses vacant. The homeless people live and spend the night, and also drug addicts are spend the night. And we tried to change this. Last Monday, thank God, we finally closed on a 4-unit apartment building that will serve veterans. There will be affordable housing for veterans. So I ask you today, please give an opportunity to small nonprofits. We over here to do something for North Charleston. Like I say, we are focusing on low-income areas. We have been done a little bit because we are brand new, and we ask you guys to help us and approve us and pay attention to small nonprofits and see what we can do it to. A couple days ago, I met the community development manager and asked him, why is only big nonprofits like Metanoias get all the funding and not small nonprofits get anything? And she could give me the answer. I'm sorry, she gave me one answer. The answer was that the city council members are the one that do they approve. But I believe that the community development manager is the one that appoint the nonprofits to you guys. So, but anyways, I don't want to create any disagreement between anybody. My question, what I ask you guys to do is please pay attention to small nonprofits. Not only us, but it's other nonprofits, small nonprofits that wanted to do something in North Charleston. On last meeting that we have to talk about the application of the CDBG and home grant was over 30 nonprofits, and half of that was only for North Charleston. Some people that want to do something for North Charleston, and they was not approved at all. I did a request last month, the list of all the properties that have a threat to condemnation in North Charleston, and the city gave me the list of 4 properties. 3 of these properties is on Shakur and Cherokee subdivision, and I spoke with these homeowners, and they don't have a penny to fix their properties. They rely on nonprofits to do something. What that means that we're gonna have 3 more properties that will be vacant in North Charleston. So I don't want to take on no more time. Thank you very much for the opportunity, but please give us a chance to do something in North Charleston too.
Can I ask you one question?
Yes,
How
sir.
long have y'all been in operation?
I'm sorry?
How long have you been in operation?
About a year.
Okay. Metanoia was in business for 8 years before we gave them one.
Okay.
When we deal with nonprofits, first of all, you got to sort of like in the Air Force, earn your wings.
Yeah, I
When you-
understand.
When you show us you can fly and that you can be doing the type of work that we need, we'll be more than happy to work with you. But we are getting less and less monies for projects like this. We have been working with Metanoia, and they showed what they could do within the community over a long period of time without getting funding for their maintenance and revitalization program. So we started supplementing them because of their record. Once you build a record that you can come back, I can assure you we'll be more than happy to let you be a part of it.
Okay, that's
No,
fine.
your 3 minutes is up, and I appreciate it, but we'd love to have a meeting with you, and you can come in and sit and talk with us one-on-one.
Thank you very much. I
Okay.
appreciate for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Anything else to come before the body?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Just want to make sure, moving forward, and I think it was item number 28, neighborhood fundings for Charleston Promise Neighborhood. We didn't acquire the 6 votes tonight, it was 5 to 3. That will still pass based upon the
Yes,
records.
sir. It's
make
a
sure.
majority of those present.
Yes, just want to make sure.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you very much. Meeting's adjourned.